Now, speaking of downward facing dog, let's take a close look at this pose because we weave in and out of it so many different times. Everyone, meet Lauren. She was in the first test group and is also an amazing yoga instructor. Now, we want to break down downward facing dog because we do this pose a lot within this program. So if you're new to yoga, listen carefully. You want to spread the hands out a little bit wider than the shoulders. The fingers spread out really, really wide. The feet are about the width of the hips, and the heels press down towards the ground. The hips slope up to the sky. Now, if the backs of your legs are really, really tight, you can bend both of your knees. And then you can modify the pose that way. Good, Lauren. Come back to a traditional downward facing dog. Now we want to go over what we call the vinyasa. And there's a couple of different ways doing the vinyasa. So let's explore the more gentler of the ways. Lauren's going to come forward to a plank pose. Her shoulders are positioned right above her wrist. Her arms are strong. Her heels are pressing back. She's lifting the belly towards the front of the spine. Now take one last inhale, plank, and then just lower slowly all the way down onto your belly. Notice how she brought the knees down onto the ground. Good, she releases the tops of the feet, and then we're gonna come into a Cobra pose. So she's gonna gently lift her chest up to the sky. Now make sure that you don't jam your way too deep into this pose. That's the last thing that we wanna do within the spine. So you lift up, you roll the shoulders back down low, and that's Cobra. The thighs are on the ground. Take one last inhale, Cobra, and then downward facing dog, curl the toes. She's gonna come onto the knees first and then lift the hips all the way to the sky. So that's variation one. Let's look at variation number two. Inhale, slide forward to plank, and then lower down slowly all the way down onto your belly. Good, her elbows are in, her chest was extending forward. Her belly's down, her thighs are down. Cobra pose on the inhale, her chest is up, her shoulders are rolling back. Beautiful, back to downward facing dog, lift the hips all the way up to the sky. Now we want to show you one last variation, and that's a variation with Chaturanga. So she's going to come forward slowly on an inhale to plank, and then she's going to lower down Chaturanga, where she hovers right above the ground. Her inner elbows are in, her chest is forward, her heels are pressing back. Now upward facing dog, the thighs are lifted off the mat. Notice her arms are straight, her chest is up, and just like Cobra, her shoulders are rolling back low. Take one last inhale there. Good, back to downward facing dog. She does a push up and lift the hips to the sky. So if you really want to build strength within those vinyasas, you can always throw a push-up in as well. Thank you, Lauren. Feel free to relax.